From the forests of little lands in Sweden, a new 9th Age battle between Ogre Khans and Sylvan Elves. These are the spells on the Ogre side. A Master Shaman and a bounce spell from the General. The Sylvan spells, the Master has these, including the Hereditary spell, making a forest. There's an Apprentice, and Fountain of Youth, the healing spell, plus Master of Earth. For the Adept. The Ogre army deploys their Bruisers on their flank here, with the Snowman Yetis in the center, on a broad line, Tribesmen and Mercenaries, more Yetis. Their scouts come out on the one flank, and in the middle forest. The Sylvans meet the Ogres on a broad line. We're playing in a barn, so the lighting is a bit unfortunate. Maybe just as cursed as this forest is after the Straplings entered it. In the middle of the battle, it's a capture the flags, counter-thrust deployment. After vanguards, this is how it looks. Closely following each other, the scouts are out, the Scraplings, and the first movement phase will be for the Ogres. No charges declared. The Ogres choose to use their first turn for tactical movement. The Yetis are all of a sudden in the midst of the flank of the Sylvan Elves, but facing their own side. The Scraplings are up, leaving a curse trap on the hill. The Yetis are up on the other flank as well. And the Tribesmen, Bruisers and Mercenaries are strategically placed in the middle and flank. In their first round, the Sylvans counter the strategic movement from the Ogres. There's still a flanking situation here, nobody sees each other, nothing going on really. The trapped terrain features are touched by the Elves, no wounds taken, and the traps are thereby removed. 3 wounds taken off the Yeti by ice and fire and shooting from the Heath Riders and the Kestrels. The Avatar charged Scraplings who fled. The Forest Rangers charged the other Scraplings after losing half their unit to shooting from the Scraplings' throwing axes, and they kill all the Scraplings in the charge. Turn 2 for the Ogres. A strange standoff going on still. After, in round 2, the Ogres massacred the Avatar of Nature, charging with 1 Yeti, and then combo charging with the Mercenaries and the core troops, Tribesmen. The Mercenaries massacred the Treemen with Strength 6. A good spell, Awaken the Beast, and devastating charge ability. The Tribesmen and Mercenaries overran into the Treemen after killing the Forest Rangers. Then the Mercenaries made another overrun into the Spear Elves. And that combat was resolved in the Sylvan round. The Kestrels charged the rear of the Tribesmen, and with the pair weapons of the Forest Guards, they killed most of the Tribesmen and chased them off the table. The Sylvan units are shuffling about in the center of their combat deployment zone, while the Wildhuntsmen were charged by Yetis here and killed outright, while the apprentice remains after fleeing and rallying. The Bruisers failed a charge in their round 2 and are left far behind on their side of the battle. Round 3 for the Ogres now. The apprentice on Unicorn chooses to flee off the table away from the Yetis. It has had enough. Enough. Tactically, that's just because he did not want to leave the Yetis an opportunity to reform after combat and turn in towards the table. The Sylvans in their turn charge these tribesmen with the full unit of Drives and Kestrel Knights, but the cramped space made the Drives only clip the tribesmen, and the characters of the tribesmen killed so many Drives that they auto-flanked after the Kestrels were killed by the remaining characters. The General and the Shaman had 6 strength 5 attacks and 6 strength 6 attacks on the General. So they overran, or they pursued and killed the Drives. 2 Yetis were killed by Master of Earth. And these 2 units enter the battlefield after pursuing the Mercenary veterans. Round 4 for the Ogres now. The Scraplings keep fleeing over here. The Heath Riders failed their charge, trying to join in the battle against the Tribesmen. The Ogres, in their turn 4, move in on the Thicket Beasts finally, except for the Tribesmen here, who want to lash out on their own side here. Turn 4 for Sylvan Elves. After round 4 of the Sylvan side, the Thicket Beasts have moved back into the forest, which was moved intermittently. The Blade Dancers flank the Tribesmen, and the Forest Guards charge this Yeti. No magic left on the Sylvan side now. It's getting scamped. Turn 5 for the Ogres. The Bruisers came into combat for the first time, charging 5 Thicket Beasts in this forest. The 5 Yetis from behind managed the Thicket Beast unit. It broke. 1 model left with Stubborn still fled and was caught in pursuit by the Yetis. Now, after the Spear Elves were killed by the Yeti here and Tribesmen, the Tribesmen reformed and are now being charged by Heath Riders in the flank and Blade Dancers in the front in turn 5 of the Sylvan Elves. That's the only thing left on the Sylvan side. The Tribesmen stand on Steadfast, killing exactly the 6 Blade Dancers. The Blade Dancers and Heath Riders combined killed about 12 wounds of the Tribesmen. And now we're into turn 6.
Reform test.
The Tribesmen reform, and that seems to be the end for the Sylvan Elves there. It's hard to see how they can make much difference in the last round, so I think we say good game there. And it seems like a massacre for the Ogres in the final draw. Some good tactical moves by the Ogres. The early charges and combo moves made a lot of difference. Do you have anything to add strategically?
Yeah, I think it was quite straightforward.
Yeah.